Have you been struggling lately and felt like God is nowhere to be found? Has it seemed your prayers are not being answered and things are only getting harder? I'm here today to tell you that if you're experiencing any of these feelings, it may be a sign that God is actually preparing you for something much bigger than you can even imagine. God often uses times of struggle, trial, and hardship to strengthen our faith, humility, and patience, so that when the blessing comes, we will be fully able to receive it with an open and grateful heart. Every struggle, every difficulty, and every time you've had to lean on God is actually preparing you for the reward that's coming if you keep persevering. Many people look at struggles as a sign that God has abandoned them or turned away, but nothing could be further from the truth. God promises in His Word that He will never leave us or forsake us, and that all things work together for good for those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. Even when you can't see how or why something is happening, trust that God is using it to mold you into the person you need to be to receive all that He has planned for your life. Nothing takes God by surprise, and He knows exactly what you need to go through to walk in your destiny. So don't lose hope. The next time difficulties arise, see them as a signal that God is working behind the scenes to give you more than you could ask or imagine. One sign God is preparing you is increased isolation. You may feel more alone, that people have withdrawn from you, or that usual supports are no longer available. This isolation could cause feelings of loneliness, but know that God may be removing distractions and what is not truly beneficial so you can draw closer to Him in deeper communion. Times of isolation allow you to seek God more fervently through prayer and Bible study. They prune away dependence on other people so that your total reliance is on God alone. When the blessing comes, you'll be so solidified in God and your faith strengthened that no person or thing can shake you. God often uses isolation as a way to prepare our hearts for greater glory to avoid the temptation of pride. Increased struggle with insignificant things could also indicate preparation for more from God. Things that never bothered you before suddenly do, or minor stresses feel overwhelmingly difficult. This shows God is cultivating sensitivity to obey even the little voice of His Spirit. If Han can trust God through small tests of character, remaining faithful when inconvenienced, then He knows your heart is fully submitted to do His will however He leads. By developing patience through small irritations, the blessing God brings will be protected and last because a gentle, teachable spirit has been formed within. Don't grow frustrated with increased sensitivity. See it as God ensuring your heart is ready for all He has planned. Another sign is facing increased resistance or opposition. The enemy does not want you to walk in your purpose and receive the plans God has for your life. So he will do everything he can to distract you, derail you, and make you give up through discouragement, temptation, or persecution from others. The more resistance you face, the closer you are to something big. Satan sees what's coming and is trying to sabotage it. Take heart. God promises that no weapon formed against you will prosper, and that all opposition will only serve to take you higher. See attacks of the enemy as confirmation that you're on the right path. Stay determined, keep praying, and don't cave into doubt or discouragement. Victory is coming. You may also notice increased personal attacks on your character, words or actions being twisted. This indicates the enemy is directly threatening what God wants to bring about in your life. Don't waste time defending yourself or feeling hurt. Release it to God and keep your eyes fixed on Him. Realize any attacks mean the blessing is increasing and close to manifestation. Stay focused on God's plan through the slander and continue walking in obedience, humility, and love. Let your light shine so brightly that the darkness can't overcome it. Know that God is using even unfair criticism to stretch your strength of character as you patiently endure. Part of preparation also involves increased lack or shortage in areas of provision. Trusting God to meet needs when resources seem lower than ever requires extraordinary faith. In times of insufficiency, rely on God alone through prayer and worship instead of anxiously trying to control outcomes. As you continue drawing near to Him despite limited funds or support, your dependency on God deepens. When blessing comes, you'll know without a doubt it is from His hand and can joyfully give Him the glory. Don't grow afraid or question God's faithfulness through times of scarcity. See them as an opportunity to prove your trust is in Him above all things. Along with shortages, you may find increased delay in answered prayers or postponement of promises. Waiting on God's timing is so difficult, but also strengthens perseverance, hope, and endurance. Don't grow impatient wondering what's taking so long, but renew your fervency in petitioning the Lord. Waiting periods purify your motives and refine your character. When blessing arrives after delay, it will be that much sweeter for having trusted God's perfect plan and timing. Use delays to remind yourself daily of God's goodness, drawing near to Him through worship as you watch for His salvation. Stay alert and keep believing. Your day of joy is coming. Another sign of increasing preparation is a surge of increased activity from God. During times where things seem stagnant or you feel unproductive, God may burden your heart with a new vision, passion, or calling. Listen closely to His leading and don't underestimate or ignore promptings of His Spirit. What seems like distraction could be direction as He expands your thinking, refines your gifts, and equips you for more. Say yes to God's call, even if it means sacrificing comfortable routines. As obedience opens doors, remain teachable and celebrate even small steps of growth. Your potential is infinitely bigger than you can imagine, and God wants to reveal it all through obedience to His leading. You may also notice improved sensitivity to God's direction during times of preparation. His voice seems louder and clearer as your heart softens. Pay close attention to impressions, dreams, scriptures that stand out. God could be unveiling increased responsibility, new wisdom, or revelation knowledge. Journal promptings and pray over insights. As you submit further to God's instruction during sensitive seasons, you position yourself for all He wants to do. Stay expectant and watch for His guidance. Your ability to hear Him ensures you'll recognize and walk through open doors at just the right time. Along with increased sensitivity also comes an upsurge of stirring vision or hope. You start to sense or imagine all God has in store beyond current circumstances. This builds motivating faith. Cling to vision when reality seems bleak. Speak it out and declare God's promises over your life daily. As you nourish inspired hope through worship and obedience to revelation, you effectively partner with God to bring that vision to pass sooner than you think. Stay thankful and refuse to settle, knowing God's ultimate plan surpasses all asking or imagining. Lastly, prepare yourself for what seems like increased adversity from God. He may allow or bring about setbacks, breakdowns, or what feels like failure. Know that God is using every experience to advance you into victory, whether you immediately perceive it or not. Keep choosing trust over frustration, reminding yourself that God causes all things to work for good. Fall deeply in love with Jesus during dark nights. When you emerge on the other side, You'll see how every adversity refined you, and the blessing you receive will confirm your continued faith in God was not in vain. The greater the preparation, the greater the reward. So receive trials as chances to prove your love and dependence on God alone. The blessing coming will be worth every difficulties. In summary, don't grow discouraged by increased struggles, but see them as evidence that God is shaping you into all He created you to be. Stay close to Him, listening for direction and soaking in His promises. Use times of preparation to deepen your character, strengthen resolve, and expand your faith. Keep praying, believing, and expectant, for God's blessings are coming upon you in due season if you continue steadfast in Him. Let nothing separate you from His amazing love. The best is yet to come.